Okay, let's dive straight into this explainer and unpack a modern epidemic that is, honestly, fundamentally altering our reality. We're going to be looking at a fascinating and frankly kind of alarming set of data derived from a deeply researched documentary framework titled Brain Rot, a documentary on modern decay. Now, I know the phrase brain rot gets thrown around a lot on the internet these days as a bit of a joke, right? But the source material we're exploring today treats it with the utmost seriousness. It completely breaks down the very real structural decay of our modern habits, our cognitive functions, and literally our daily reality. So I want to start by asking you to hold a mirror up to your own life for a second. Have you felt a shift in your daily routine? Have you noticed something changing? Your mind, your habits, your reality? You know, this isn't just about feeling a little tired after a long day at work. It's about a persistent, underlying sense that the way you process the entire world is being rewired. The source material frames this as this sort of unsettling atmosphere that has crept into our lives almost completely unannounced. It really challenges us to pause and truly evaluate, are we actually the same people we were before our digital screens became the absolute center of our universe?
Well, consider this. A staggering 92% of young adults readily admit to mindless scrolling. Just let that number sink in for a second. 92%. This isn't just some fringe behavior. This is the overwhelming majority of an entire generation. And the absolutely crucial word here is mindless. We're not talking about active engagement. This isn't researching a topic you're super passionate about or even actively connecting with your friends. No, it is a passive, almost involuntary state of being where the screen is completely dictating your attention rather than your own conscious choice.
And that habit? It translates directly into more than 5 hours spent daily on social media platforms. That number represents a massive chunk of our waking lives. 5 hours a day. If you sleep for 8 hours, that means nearly a third of your conscious day is just surrendered to a digital feed. Over a week, that's 35 hours. I mean, that's almost a full-time job just dedicated to existing within social media ecosystems. The sheer gravity of this statistic highlights exactly why this is being classified as a modern epidemic.
So the crucial point here is facing this really uncomfortable, foundational question about our digital existence. But is this really living? When you combine the fact that 92% of us are mindlessly scrolling and we're literally losing 5 or more hours a day to it, we really have to ask what we're sacrificing in exchange. The documentary source material uses this exact question as a major turning point, shifting from those raw statistics to the deeply personal impact. It's essentially a wake-up call to evaluate the actual quality of our hours, not just the quantity of our screen time.
So let's break down how this happens. Habit number 1, endless scrolling, or the slip of time. We know the volume of time lost, but what does the actual process look like? Well, this is the foundation of the modern decay we're talking about. It's a rapid degradation of your intent. Think about step 1. You open your phone for a simple task, like just checking the time. You have a clear, specific intention. Then, step 2. 30 minutes suddenly vanish. You're still scrolling, totally disconnected from your original purpose. And then, step 3, which is probably the most alarming part, you retain absolutely nothing. You don't even remember what you just saw. This isn't just about wasting time, it's about the complete hijacking of your personal agency. Your intent is totally overwritten by the design of the feed, and you're left with nothing to show for half an hour of your life.
Moving right along to habit number 2, the comparison trap, a split reality.
If endless scrolling steals our time, the comparison trap steals our joy. There is this stark, incredibly damaging contrast between your authentic life and the artificially manicured highlight reels of others. Look at your reality. It's often struggling, tired, ordinary, imperfect, but most importantly, it's real. Conversely, their highlight reel is everything you feel you aren't: successful, happy, extraordinary, perfect. But that final word reveals the truth, doesn't it? It's fake. The real tragedy of this habit is that we're constantly comparing our messy, real, behind-the-scenes footage to everyone else's highly edited, filtered, and curated movie trailers. It is an entirely rigged game, and honestly, you can never win it. And the inescapable result of this constant, unfair juxtaposition, it's a rapidly filling emotional meter of anxiety and decreasing self-worth. When your brain is subjected to that split reality day in and day out, for 5 hours a day, remember, it takes a measurable, heavy psychological toll. The source data points out that this isn't just a fleeting moment of jealousy either. It is a cumulative draining of your self-esteem. You're actively training your brain to devalue your own authentic life in favor of a total digital illusion.
Which brings us to habit number 3, crumbling focus, the decay of attention. Finally, let's look at the hard data regarding how these habits are physically changing our cognitive capabilities over time.
We've talked about the loss of time and the loss of self-worth. Now we're looking at the actual erosion of our brain's ability to just hold on to a single thought. The baseline attention span has dropped from a normal 12 minutes in the 1990s down to just 8 minutes in the 2000s. That is a startling 33% reduction in our fundamental ability to focus. And keep in mind, this data point marks the shift into the 2000s, literally just the very beginning of the heavy digital age. This loss of 4 minutes represents a monumental shift in human cognition. It means our capacity for deep work, for sustained reading, or for simply sitting with our own thoughts without needing a quick dopamine hit is literally crumbling away.
So, as we witness our focus literally crumbling away, I'm going to leave you with the exact same question we started with. But is this really living? We've seen the data, the 5 hours a day, that endless loop of forgotten content, the rigged comparison game that just completely drains our self-worth, and the hard, statistical drop in our attention spans. The source material presents all of this not to make us despair, but to give us a much-needed reality check. Because once you can visualize the trap, once you clearly see the mechanics of this modern decay, you finally have the power to step out of it. Think about it. What would your reality actually look like if you reclaimed those 5 hours and reclaimed your own mind?